Jeremy?
Yep.
All right. Premier, I want to say yesterday, but it might have been the day before, we talked about sick notes. Was that just yesterday?
No, the day before.
Okay. What, if anything, have you been able to kind of find out about what you plan to do about sick notes?
Well, for the public service, it was 3 days that you could be off for routine required sick note. We've increased that now to 5. That you could be off in a row without requiring a sick note. Part of that has to do with our insurer, so there's ongoing conversations with them about what would be possible in terms of either extending that or, quite frankly, suspending it at certain times.
Could it be suspended beyond 5 days, or is 5 days the max?
Currently, right now, 5 is the max that you would require, and then you would require notification of when they're coming back to work, and that would, if they're not coming, require the support of a medical document. But it was raised in around particularly coronavirus, and we were looking at what that would look like for us in terms of not for those who have not been feeling well or not well and want to be home, not having them end up plugging up the healthcare facilities.
Because Robert Strang in his briefing was quite emphatic. Look, stop asking for sick notes.
Yeah, no, I've spoken to Dr. Strang before. I understand that. Doctors Nova Scotia also very much don't want that process. We're striking the balance of ensuring that we provide the appropriate level of time for people to be off without requiring a sick note, but at the same time ensuring that we need to know when our employees will be back to work. But again, we are talking to our own insurer to see what that would look like, particularly at this moment in time where we're talking about the coronavirus, which, by the way, isn't here yet.
Right. And I just want to be clear, the policy was three?
It was 3 days. We've extended it. Minister Gosoulis pushed that to 5. This was months ago.
Oh, okay. So it's not...
No, not recently. It's been months, a long time.
So you're still trying to figure it out?
Right, because this is an issue, so you take away the current situation globally, but this was an issue of trying to respond to the healthcare teams and trying to strike the balance of our insurer. So how do we do that? So we extended it from 3 to 5, which we saw a reduction, but the issue was raised in the House by the leader of the Democratic Party. It's also been something that's been raised with me by Brendan McGuire about this issue. So we're continuing to look at it, and as I committed to the leader, I would go and speak to the public service, and we will do that and look at what our insurer says.
Last night in question period, the PC leader questioned you about when you first learned that Hugh McKay had an issue with alcoholism. You talked about the scrum from October 15th. You said you were aware at that time. Yesterday, you were in question period saying that you didn't know until you got that call. Can you clear that up?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I did not know Mr. McKay had an issue with alcohol. What I was notified on Thanksgiving weekend that he'd been picked up for a pair drive. I was notified on that on a Sunday. He was picked up on Saturday night. I was notified Saturday through call. At that point, he revealed to our chief of staff that he had an alcohol problem. At no point had any of it ever been disclosed to us, to the party. We vetted all of our candidates for cabinet, and never been disclosed. We applied to run, none of that had been disclosed. And I scrummed on the 15th, which was 2 days later. So I had no idea that Mr. McKay had issued alcohol until I got that call on Sunday morning.
What changed with the second? With this second, is just one more question. What changed that he's now sitting as an independent, where that didn't happen when this first instance came about?
He had an incident that it was back in October, November. He was charged, pled guilty, and immediately went into treatment. And is seeking treatment now with support my chief of staff and our clerk. Had him in treatment in 12 hours, 12 to 14 hours. What you should do when you find out that someone has an addiction issue. And this most recent charge that has come up, that is now before the courts, Mr. McKay thought it would be best for him to sit as an independent of the House until this is dealt with in court, and I agree with him.
Premier, forgive me for changing the scrum subject. Daylight savings is tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Yukon did away with it. There have been movements around the world to do away with daylight saving because it was done to conserve energy, increase productivity, and times have changed. Given that Yukon has done this, do you have any take on this at all going forward?
We're not even, we are not looking at it at all. It's not something that's been part of what we're doing with all of the other issues we're faced with. We're not talking about it all. I would say that if we do anything in this region, we should do it as a region. The Atlantic should do it together, but it's not something that we've talked about at the table at all, or it's not something that we as a government have been contemplating.
Thank you, sir.
All right, just to go back to you for a second. His trial date is now December 7th. Is he welcome back on your team between now and then, or does this issue have to be resolved one way or another?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to Hugh before the courts, and the courts will deal with it, and that was what we had discussed. He was as an independent until it's dealt with.
So if there was an election between now and then, he would not be a candidate?
I don't. Listen, there's been a lot of election speculation. You guys won't have to cover an election this year. So let me put that to bed for you now. There won't be an election this year unless Gary wants one. Gary doesn't want one. I know Tim wants one, but Gary doesn't want one. So there will be no election this year.
Okay, that's new. Why not?
We're just our third anniversary is just coming up. I think it would be. I don't think Nova Scotians look kindly on a government that went to the polls at the 3-year mark. We have a lot of work to do. We've worked hard with Nova Scotians. They've done a tremendous amount of work in the last 6 years. We're proud of our record. We're looking forward to doing more. This budget was one that reflected the hard work of Nova Scotians, and I look forward to tabling another one.
And what's left on your to-do list?
Continuing to grow this province. It's not an issue of, your work is never done, quite frankly, as a government. We continue to drive the economic future of Nova Scotia. It wasn't all that long ago when people would say our sons and daughters had to leave here to go to work. Well, guess what? More and more young people are staying and choosing working. Our youth population is up. We're seeing our unemployment down. Population all-time high. Private sector's hiring. We've led the country in some months in wage growth. That's all private sector growth. That's positive stuff. We're continuing to work to make those major investments in our healthcare infrastructure. Those are all ongoing. I'm a little concerned that others don't support those. We want to see those finished. Those are important steps, and we'll continue to make those. But there's always work.
Okay, since we put that one to bed, let's put another one to bed. Do you plan to lead this party into the next election?
It's my intention.
You mentioned that there's still work to do, and we're hearing at a point of privilege that maybe this session is being rushed in terms of law amendments. What do you say to the opposition?
Listen, I've been here now 17 years, and everyone, the opposition says the session's being rushed through. The reality of it is members have an opportunity to stand on their feet before the legislature, debate issues. Law amendments we're hearing from the public. And we heard very diverse conversation today from Nova Scotians on bills that were before us. And look forward to hearing them get the whole house and third reading here of this session.
Does what you
Last
heard,
question.
Does what you heard this morning change your mind in any way on the bubble bill?
Not at all. The women in our lives, the women in this country have the right to choose, and they have the right to choose and access health care without being subject to, in my view, in some cases harassment as they walk into the healthcare facilities. And we as a caucus will be supporting this bill, and we look forward to its passage.
And when would you hope to enact it?
Would be right away, yeah. I mean, there may be some bit of work that would have to be required, but we would enact it right away.
Merci.
Thanks.